I'm Amy Potts, Rural Heritage Program Director at Preservation Kentucky. Rural preservation is critical to Kentucky because a predominant amount of our state is actually considered rural. While we have wonderful, vibrant urban areas, a great deal of our cultural landscape, small towns, communities, and citizens reside in rural areas. Heritage-based rural development is really critical to Kentucky because it's a way of sustainably looking at protecting our local economies, farming, as well as our historic assets in buildings in the cultural landscape. Preserving rural heritage is an economic benefit to our small communities because many of these places are really at an economic tipping point. There has been a loss of jobs because our agricultural economy has changed over the years. So supporting local farmers, saving farmland, and helping preserve small towns really creates jobs as well as a good sense of quality of life for the people that live there. Rural preservation is actually sustainable development because we have certain financial incentives in historic preservation that can actually help rural areas and farmland create jobs as well as stay in existence. One of our best resources is the historic preservation tax credit. We have shown this in Kentucky in small projects such as the rehabilitation of closed elementary schools, historic elementary schools that now have become affordable housing for seniors in rural area. In one area, Buffalo, Kentucky, population 300, it was actually a $3 million reinvestment in that area and provided over 20 affordable housing units for senior citizens. We've also been able to use tax credits on farms, historic farms. One such farm in Boyle County was able to utilize a historic tax credit for its historic barn, which kept the farm in the family and working as a farm. There are several things that we can do to accomplish rural preservation. First, we really need to nurture grassroots involvement. Involve people in rural places in saving their cultural landscapes and their historic farms in their small towns. Also, we can work together to forge regional partnerships with county governments, city governments, and affect public policy from the local, state, and national levels. Another important way we can accomplish rural preservation is to really advocate for important public policy, not only on a local, state, and a national level. Local policy such as strong ordinances, rural historic districts, and national policy such as full funding for the Historic Preservation Fund and for really important programs like Preserve America that has demonstrated a real ability to promote heritage tourism in rural areas. Kentucky's rural places are something that I'm deeply passionate about. I grew up in a rural area. I feel very strongly about the importance of that story, that history to Kentucky that I think that we're losing as we lose rural landscapes. We've discovered wonderful case studies on the importance of small town development, on the importance of utilizing historic preservation tax credits to help the local farmers, and on the real importance of supporting your local economies, which I think will be really the future of Kentucky.